The Mafia boss found his assistant injured by his rival's car. What he ordered next shocked everyone. Hello everyone. Before we get started with today's story, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon, so you never miss our latest videos filled with fascinating and unforgettable stories. It only takes a second and it's completely free, but your support means the world to us and is the best way to help this channel continue to grow. Could you tell me where in the world you are watching this video and what time it is? Thank you so much for being here. We wish you and your family happiness, good health, and all the best life has to offer. Now let's begin today's story. Nathan Cross had men who would take a bullet for him. I was the woman who reminded him to eat lunch. That probably tells you more about our relationship than any job title ever could. My name is Emily Carter. For 3 years I was Nathan Cross's executive assistant, which meant my mornings usually began with 12 unread emails, 2 rescheduled meetings, and at least one powerful man discovering that Nathan had no interest in whatever excuse he had prepared. People were afraid of him. I understood why. Nathan never needed to shout. He had a quieter talent. He listened. Then he looked at you long enough for you to hear everything wrong with your own argument. 36. Tall. Dark hair. Gray eyes that rarely revealed what he was thinking. He wore tailored suits like armor. That Monday morning, 6 men sat around the conference table when I walked into his office without knocking. Every head turned. Nathan continued reading. "You have 11 minutes, I said. One of the men stared at me. Nathan glanced at his watch. "Until. You're meeting downtown. Move it." No, the room became remarkably interested in me. Nathan lifted his eyes. "Emily." "Nathan." Nobody breathed. I placed a paper bag beside his hand. "Also eat." One man actually looked offended on Nathan's behalf. Nathan looked inside. "Turkey sandwich. No mustard." Exactly how he liked it. "I'm in a meeting." "And you skipped breakfast." "I had coffee." "That isn't food." His mouth shifted almost imperceptibly. "Anything else?" "Yes. Rachel called twice. Your attorney moved Thursday to Friday. The Beaumont confirmed tomorrow night. And if you cancel dinner with your sister again, I'm giving her your private number." "She has my private number." "Then I'm giving it to Lily." That did it. The smallest hint of amusement appeared in his eyes. "Get out. Eat your sandwich." I closed the door behind me. That was normal for us. I knew his schedule better than he did. I knew which headaches meant he needed silence and which meant someone had disappointed him. I knew he hated lilies, preferred windows open even in winter, and never trusted anyone who arrived early without a reason. Nathan knew I drank coffee. That was approximately the extent of his knowledge about me. He didn't know I called my mother every Sunday. He didn't know I kept emergency flats beneath my desk because heels after midnight were a form of punishment. He didn't know I sometimes stayed late because returning to an empty apartment felt lonelier than working. And I never expected him to know. Nathan's world functioned through usefulness. People entered. People served a purpose. People disappeared. I had simply become unusually permanent. The following evening, the Beaumont glowed against a rain-soaked Manhattan skyline. Nathan had a private meeting upstairs. I organized everything. Cars. Documents. Times. Entrances. At 10:42 p.m., he emerged from the conference room and held out his hand. "Grant file." I reached into my leather folder. Nothing. My stomach dropped. I remembered exactly where it was. In the car. Nathan checked his watch. "Have Michael get it." "He's still upstairs." "I'll send someone." "It'll take 5 minutes." "Emily." I was already walking backward toward the elevator. "You're not the only person capable of retrieving paper." "No, but I'm significantly faster." The elevator doors opened. Nathan looked irritated. I smiled. "Eat your sandwich tomorrow." The doors closed between us. That was the last thing I said to him before going downstairs. 5 minutes later, Nathan Cross looked at his watch. 10 minutes later he called my phone. 15 he stopped waiting. And when he stepped into the rain himself, he finally discovered what my absence did to him. The first thing I remember was the rain. Cold against my cheek. The second was Nathan saying my name like he could keep me conscious simply by refusing to let me disappear. Emily. I tried opening my eyes. Streetlights blurred above me. Somewhere nearby, a car engine faded into Manhattan traffic. Nathan crouched beside me, one knee against the wet pavement, his jacket already off and folded beneath my head. I had never seen him on his knees before. The thought seemed strangely funny. Look at me. I am. No, you're not. I forced my eyes wider. There. His face came into focus. Nathan Cross looked frightened. Not dramatically. His hands were steady. His voice remained controlled. But I knew him. I knew the muscle that tightened beside his jaw when something went wrong. I knew how still he became when anger arrived. This was different. Don't move, he said. I wasn't planning a marathon. His eyes closed briefly. Relief. You're making jokes. You pay me to maintain morale. I pay you to organize my life. Same thing. Footsteps approached. Nathan looked up. The warmth vanished from his expression. Ambulance. 3 minutes, someone answered. Make it 2. Even injured, I almost corrected him. You cannot order traffic. Then I remembered why I was outside. The file. The parking area. Headlights. A dark sedan turning too quickly near the service entrance. I had stepped backward. Someone shouted. After that, fragments. Nathan. His attention returned instantly. The car. We saw it. I tried lifting my head. Pain stopped me. His hand settled carefully against my shoulder. Stay still. I recognize it. His expression changed. So did I. That frightened me more than the pain. Everyone in Nathan's world recognized certain cars, certain plates, certain names. Vincent Hale was one of them. Hale and Nathan had spent years occupying opposite sides of an invisible line neither man seemed willing to cross. I remembered the sedan's rear plate. One of Hale's corporate vehicles. Too obvious. Why would it be here? Then another memory surfaced. Michael Grant handing me the leather folder upstairs. His distracted expression. His phone vibrating. And the schedule change. My stomach tightened. It wasn't supposed to be me. Nathan leaned closer. What? I swallowed. I wasn't supposed to go downstairs. His eyes sharpened. What are you saying? Michael was supposed to get the file. Sirens approached. Red light washed across the hotel walls. Nathan looked toward the street where the sedan had disappeared. Then back at me. Something cold settled over his features. Not rage. Calculation. Paramedics rushed forward. Nathan moved only when they made him. As they lifted me onto the stretcher, I caught his wrist. Nathan. He looked down. Don't do anything stupid. For the first time in 3 years, he didn't have a clever answer. The ambulance doors opened. He climbed inside after me. One paramedic stopped him. Sir, are you family? Nathan froze. It lasted barely a second, but I saw it. The question had reached somewhere neither of us had named. No, he said quietly. Then he looked at me. His expression changed again. I'm going with her. Nobody argued. As the ambulance pulled away, Nathan's phone rang. He answered. A voice spoke rapidly through the speaker. Then came the name I already feared. Vincent Hale. Nathan stared through the rain-streaked window. I waited for anger. Instead, he said 4 words that made even the paramedic glance toward him. Don't touch anyone yet. That was when I realized Nathan wasn't thinking about revenge. He was thinking about why someone wanted him to. The hospital clock reached 3:17 a.m. before Nathan finally sat down. I knew because I watched him ignore the chair for almost 2 hours. Doctors examined me, nurses asked questions, machines beeped beside my bed, and every few minutes someone appeared in the hallway looking for him. Nathan sent them away. All of them. Nothing was broken. A concussion, bruised ribs, several cuts, and a shoulder that would apparently spend the next few weeks reminding me never to argue with a moving vehicle. I was lucky. Nathan didn't seem convinced. When the doctor finished explaining my condition, he asked, "Any questions?" Nathan answered before I could. "When can she leave?" "Tomorrow possibly. She needs observation tonight." "What symptoms should we watch for?" The doctor listed them. Nathan listened like he was memorizing evidence. I stared at him. You know I'm awake, right? His eyes moved toward me. Unfortunately. There he is. The doctor smiled and left. Nathan remained beside the window. His white shirt sleeves were rolled to his forearms. His tie had disappeared somewhere between the Beaumont and the emergency room. There was dried rainwater along one shoulder. His coffee sat untouched on the windowsill. You should go home, I said. No. You have meetings. Cancelled. Tomorrow's call with Chicago? Moved. The 9 o'clock? Emily. What? Stop managing my calendar from a hospital bed. I considered that. No, for the first time that night, something almost human crossed his face. Then someone knocked. Michael Grant entered. He looked exhausted. Nathan. His gaze shifted to me. Emily. Thank God. I watched him approach. Something about his concern felt genuine. That bothered me more than if it hadn't. Michael had been with Nathan for nearly a decade. Trusted. Reliable. The person originally supposed to retrieve that folder. Nathan stepped between us almost casually. What do you have? Michael stopped. The sedan is registered to a holding company connected to Vincent Hale. Nathan said nothing. We also confirmed Hale's people used that vehicle last week. Still nothing. Michael's voice hardened. This was him. Was it? I looked at Nathan. Michael did too. You saw the car. I saw a car. With Hale's plate. Exactly. Michael frowned. Nathan turned toward the rain-darkened window. If Hale wanted me to know he did it, he'd send a message. Maybe this was the message. Nathan's eyes shifted to me. No, one syllable. Absolute. Michael lowered his voice. What do you want done? Nathan didn't answer. Not immediately. Instead, he looked at the untouched coffee, then at the monitors beside me, then at the clock. 3 hours had passed. He had barely moved. I suddenly understood something I probably wasn't supposed to. Nathan wasn't furious because someone had challenged him. He was afraid because I had almost disappeared from a life where he had assumed I would always be waiting behind the next door. A nurse entered to check my for. She glanced at Nathan. You're still here? Yes. Family. There was that question again. This time I watched him carefully. No, Nathan said. The answer came slower than it should have. The nurse nodded and continued working. Michael's phone buzzed. He checked the screen. We can have men outside Hale's place within 20 minutes. Nathan turned. Every trace of softness vanished. No, Michael stared at him. No. Nathan stepped into the hallway. I could still hear him. Call everyone. A pause. Conference room. 6 a.m. Michael lowered his voice. And Hale. Nathan looked back through the doorway at me. His expression was impossible to mistake now. Not vengeance. Purpose. Nobody goes near him. Michael seemed genuinely stunned. Nathan continued. I want traffic cameras, hotel footage, vehicle records, schedule changes, and every person who knew Emily was going downstairs. The room became very quiet. Then Nathan said the words that changed everything. Someone wants me angry. His eyes settled on Michael. I want to know why. How hard do you want us to hit Hale? The question reached me through Nathan's phone at 6:08 that morning. I was supposed to be sleeping. Instead, I lay beneath a thin hospital blanket while Nathan stood near the window, listening to a room full of men waiting for permission to start something none of them could easily stop. Rain still covered the glass. Michael's voice came through the speaker. We have people ready. Nathan looked at me. I pretended not to notice. Nobody touches Hale. Silence. Even through a phone I could feel the confusion. Michael spoke first. Say that again. You heard me. Nathan. His car put Emily in the hospital. A car connected to him did. What difference does that make? All of it. Nathan picked up the coffee a nurse had brought him. Cold again. He set it back down without drinking. I want the driver identified. Every traffic camera between the Beaumont and Hale's garage. Find out who requested the vehicle, who had access to the keys, and who knew our schedule. Someone asked. And if Hale ordered it? Then we'll know. That answer unsettled them. They wanted certainty. Nathan wanted proof. I understood why that mattered. Men like Nathan survived because people expected them to react exactly as their reputations demanded. Threat. Response. Escalation. Someone had apparently counted on that. Nathan ended the call. You shocked them. They'll recover. You disappointed at least 3 people before breakfast. A productive morning. I smiled, then immediately regretted it when my ribs protested. Nathan noticed. Stop doing that. Smiling. Anything that hurts. That's medically impossible. He pulled the chair closer to my bed. For several seconds neither of us spoke. Then I remembered something. The folder. His gaze sharpened. What about it? Michael gave it to me upstairs. We know. No. He wasn't supposed to. Nathan became still. I searched backward through the previous night. The conference room. People leaving. Michael standing near the elevators. His phone vibrating. He asked me to hold it while he took a call. And I put it with my things. Nathan waited. When you asked for the grant file later, I assumed I'd left it in the car. You had. Yes, but Michael was originally supposed to retrieve it. Nathan leaned forward. Who changed that? I did. That surprised him. He was still in the meeting. You needed the documents. I went instead. His eyes dropped briefly. So nobody knew you'd go downstairs. Not unless they saw me leave. A knock interrupted us. One of Nathan's men entered carrying a tablet. We have hotel footage. He placed it on the bedside table. The video showed the service entrance. Timestamp. 10:49. The dark sedan appeared 6 minutes before I came downstairs. It waited. My skin went cold. Nathan replayed the footage. Again. The vehicle had arrived before anyone could have known I would retrieve the file. I looked at him. It wasn't waiting for me. No, the man beside us spoke. Then who? Nathan's expression changed. I already knew. Michael, I whispered. Nathan looked toward me. He was supposed to get the folder. The room seemed to shrink. The sedan hadn't come for Nathan's assistant. It had come for one of Nathan's most trusted men. Or at least that was what someone wanted us to believe. Nathan rose. Get me the original schedule. His man left immediately. I watched Nathan cross toward the door. Nathan. He stopped. What are you going to do? His hand rested on the handle. Something everyone around me apparently forgot how to do. What? He looked back at me. Asked the right question. Then he left. And for the first time I wondered whether the real target that night had never been a person at all. Maybe it had been Nathan's anger. The car arrived before I did. I repeated the sentence until Nathan stopped pacing. By noon, the hospital had become an extension of his office. Documents occupied the visitors' table. Security footage waited on a tablet. 3 phones appeared and disappeared depending on who needed him. I wanted all of them gone. Nathan wanted answers. The sedan entered the service lane at 10:49, I said. I didn't leave the elevator until 10:55. I know. So whoever arranged this expected Michael. Nathan leaned against the window. Possibly. You don't believe that. I believe someone wanted us to believe something. That distinction had become his favorite weapon. A knock came. A man named Daniel entered carrying the original Beaumont schedule. Nathan took it. I watched his eyes move down the page. Then stop. What? He handed it to me. Beside the 10:45 notation was Michael Grant's name. Vehicle retrieval. Exactly as I remembered. But underneath it, someone had added another note. Hale vehicle confirmed. My skin prickled. Who wrote that? We're checking. Nathan took the paper back. If Michael was the intended victim, why make Hale's connection obvious? To make you blame him. Maybe. I hated when he said that. What else? Nathan studied the page. To make me react before asking who benefited. That afternoon I was discharged. Nathan insisted on taking me home. I refused his penthouse, his private nurse, and what sounded suspiciously like an attempt to place 2 security men in my hallway. 1. 2. 1. You were hit by a car yesterday. I noticed. 2. Nathan. His jaw tightened. 1. Progress. By evening another piece arrived. The sedan had not been taken from Hale's main garage. It had been signed out through a subsidiary location using credentials belonging to an employee who had been homesick. Nathan read the report twice. So Hale may not know, I said. He may know everything. But you don't have proof. No, a month earlier, that answer would have sounded like frustration. Now it sounded like restraint. My phone vibrated. A message from Michael. Glad you're home. Let me know if you need anything. I stared at it. Nathan noticed. Who? Michael. His face revealed nothing. I handed him the phone. He read the message and returned it. He came to the hospital. I remember. He looked worried. People can be worried for many reasons. You suspect him. I suspect everyone. Comforting. Nathan sat across from me. Emily, think carefully. Before you took that folder, did Grant say anything unusual? I closed my eyes. Michael near the elevators. His phone ringing. The leather folder in his hand. Then something surfaced. He asked whether you were leaving through the service entrance. Nathan leaned forward. What did you tell him? That the driver was moving to the front because of the rain. And then, he checked his phone. A chill moved through me. I thought he was reading a message. Nathan rose. Nathan. He reached for his coat. You're supposed to be protecting me. I am. Then don't disappear every time I tell you something important. That stopped him. He looked at me for several seconds. Then unexpectedly he sat back down. What do you want me to do? The question surprised us both. Find out who used those credentials. I will. And don't decide Michael is guilty because the pieces look convenient. His eyes narrowed. You're defending him? I'm defending the truth. Silence. Then Nathan nodded. His phone rang. Daniel. Nathan answered. He listened without speaking. Something changed in his expression. What is it? I asked. He lowered the phone. They found the driver. My heartbeat quickened. Who hired him? Nathan looked directly at me. He says Vincent Hale didn't. Then who? Nathan reached for his coat again. This time I didn't stop him. The driver never got a name. He opened the door. But he got a voice. And apparently Nathan recognized it. You're inviting Vincent Hale here? Nathan didn't look up from his desk. Yes. I stared at him. 3 days had passed since I left the hospital. My ribs still objected whenever I moved too quickly, but staying home while Nathan investigated without me had proven impossible. So I was back in his office. Temporarily. According to me, Nathan had other opinions. The man whose car nearly put me through a windshield? The car wasn't his. It belonged to his company. That isn't the same thing. I folded my arms. You've become remarkably reasonable since I got hit by a sedan. His eyes lifted. Don't joke about that. The sharpness in his voice erased my smile. Before I could answer, the office door opened. Vincent Hale entered alone. He was older than Nathan, silver beginning at his temples, dressed in charcoal with the relaxed confidence of someone accustomed to walking into hostile rooms. His gaze found me immediately. Miss Carter. I stiffened. Nathan noticed. Vincent stopped several feet away. I'm sorry about what happened. Nathan's expression remained unreadable. Sit. Vincent did. A tablet rested between them. Nathan touched the screen. Security footage appeared. The sedan. The service lane. The timestamp. The driver says he received instructions by phone, Nathan said. Vincent leaned back. And you believe him? I believe records. Nathan slid a document across the desk. Your vehicle was signed out using Daniel Foster's credentials. Vincent barely glanced down. Foster was home with pneumonia. We confirmed that. For the first time, Vincent seemed interested. So someone borrowed my car to make you look at me. That's the theory. And did you? Nathan's gaze hardened. For about 30 seconds. Vincent smiled faintly. Growth. I almost laughed. Nathan did not. Vincent turned toward me. If I wanted a war with Miss Carter, I wouldn't start with his assistant. Nathan's chair moved. Only an inch. But the temperature in the room seemed to fall. She isn't just my assistant. Silence. Vincent looked at Nathan. then at me. I forgot how breathing worked. Nathan seemed to realize what he had said 1 second too late. Vincent's expression changed into something dangerously close to amusement. That, he said, explains the restraint. Nathan ignored him. Do you recognize the driver's recording? He pressed play. A distorted phone conversation filled the room. The caller had disguised his voice, but one phrase came through clearly. Move it to the service entrance. Cross needs to see where it came from. Vincent's smile vanished. Play it again. Nathan did. Vincent listened with his eyes closed. Then he leaned forward. I don't know the voice. Nathan studied him. But the wording. What about it? Vincent pointed toward the speaker. Cross needs to see. My pulse quickened. He knew Nathan would be there. Vincent nodded, and knew exactly what conclusion he'd reach. Nathan stood. So this came from inside my schedule. Obviously. No, I said. Both men looked at me. Not just the schedule. I remembered Michael asking about the service entrance. His message after I came home. His insistence that Hale was responsible before anyone had verified anything. He knew how Nathan would react. Nathan's face became very still. Vincent understood first. You're not looking for someone who knows your movements. He rose slowly. You're looking for someone who knows you. Nathan's phone vibrated. A message appeared. He read it once, then handed the screen to me. Security access records. One name appeared beside the file containing Nathan's Beaumont itinerary. Michael Grant. My stomach tightened. Nathan took back the phone. No anger crossed his face. That frightened me more. Vincent buttoned his jacket. Looks like your enemy isn't standing in front of you. Nathan looked toward the closed office door. No, his voice dropped. He's been standing beside me for 10 years. 10 years is a long time to stand beside someone while planning to take his place. Nathan said it so calmly that Michael Grant stopped smiling. We were in a private conference room beneath Nathan's office. I had argued against being there. Nathan had argued harder. Then I reminded him that I was the person who had been injured because of whatever Michael had started. That ended the discussion. Michael sat across from us. No restraints. No threats. Just a table, 3 chairs, and a folder thick with evidence. He looked at me. You shouldn't be here, Emily. I've heard that a lot lately. Nathan remained standing. He placed a photograph on the table. The sedan. Then the access records. Then the Beaumont schedule. Michael barely glanced at them. You accessed my itinerary at 8:13 that night, Nathan said. I access your schedules constantly. You contacted the vehicle subsidiary 12 minutes later. Michael's expression shifted. Barely. Enough. Nathan noticed. So did I. You used Foster's credentials, Nathan continued. You arranged for Hale's sedan to appear where I would see it. Michael leaned back. You have an interesting imagination. The driver identified your voice. That did it. Michael's eyes hardened. Nathan pulled out his phone. A recording played. Michael's voice. Cleaner this time. Undeniable. When it ended, nobody spoke. I looked at the man who had brought me coffee during late meetings. The man who remembered birthdays. The man I had trusted to walk me to my car after midnight. Why? Michael looked at me. You weren't supposed to go downstairs. My stomach tightened. So you knew someone could get hurt. I knew there was a risk. Nathan's hand flattened against the table. Michael noticed, then smiled. You see? That's what I needed. Nathan said nothing. You and Hale have spent years waiting for a reason. His vehicle appears. Someone close to you gets hurt. You retaliate. He answers. Everything fractures. And you. I keep things together. For yourself. Michael shrugged. Someone would have to. I felt sick. Nathan's voice lowered. You built your entire plan around my anger. I built it around knowing you. For the first time, Michael sounded proud. You don't forgive threats. You don't wait for proof. And when someone hurts what belongs to you. Stop. Nathan's voice cut through the room. Michael looked toward me. That's what she is, isn't she? Nathan became completely motionless. Your weakness. Michael smiled. The one thing you finally care enough about to lose control over. My throat tightened. Nathan looked at me. For one terrible second, I wondered if Michael had succeeded. Then Nathan pulled out the chair beside mine and sat. Slowly. Deliberately. Emily doesn't belong to me. Michael's smile faded. She works for you. She works with me. She nearly died because of your world. Nathan absorbed that without flinching. Yes. One word. No excuse. No denial. Then he turned toward me. And if she decides tomorrow that she never wants to see me again, that decision belongs to her too. I couldn't speak. Michael stared at him as though the man across the table had become someone unfamiliar. Maybe he had. You've gone soft, Michael said. Nathan almost smiled. No, he closed the folder. I learned the difference between protecting something and possessing someone. He stood. Michael followed him with his eyes. So what now? That was the question. 10 years of betrayal sat between them. Michael clearly expected punishment. So did everyone waiting beyond that door. Nathan looked toward me once. Then back at the man who had believed anger made him predictable. What happens next, Nathan said quietly, is the part you never planned for. He reached for the door. And when it opened, half a dozen men outside straightened, waiting for an order. Nathan gave none. Not yet. Call the authorities. Nobody moved. Nathan stood in the doorway of the conference room while 6 men stared at him, as if he had suddenly started speaking another language. Behind him, Michael Grant remained seated. I watched from my chair. Daniel was the first to react. You want us to do what? Nathan's expression didn't change. Call them. Michael laughed once. It sounded nervous. You're serious? Nathan turned toward him. Completely. The laughter disappeared. Everyone had expected a different order. I had too. For years, Nathan's reputation had been built around certainty. People crossed him once. They rarely received an opportunity to do it twice. Michael had counted on that version of him. That was the entire plan. Hurt someone close. Point toward Vincent Hale. Wait for Nathan's anger to finish the work. But Nathan wasn't giving him that satisfaction. Daniel stepped closer. What exactly are we handing over? Everything. Nathan walked toward the table. He opened the folder. Vehicle records. Hotel footage. Access logs. Financial transfers. The driver's statement. He placed his phone beside it. And the recordings. Michael's face lost color. You can't do that. Nathan looked at him. Why not? You know what's in those files. I know exactly what's in them. Michael stood abruptly. So you're going to hand your own records to investigators because your assistant got hurt? The room tightened. Nathan didn't. No, he glanced at me. I'm doing it because you built a plan around the assumption that I would protect my pride before I protected the truth. Michael shook his head. You think this makes you righteous? No, the answer came immediately. I think it makes you accountable. For once, Michael had nothing ready. Neither did anyone else. Nathan turned to Daniel. Have counsel separate anything unrelated. Preserve every original record connected to the incident. No missing files. No altered timestamps. Daniel nodded slowly. And Grant. Nathan's attention returned to Michael. He stays here until law enforcement arrives. Michael stared at him. After 10 years? Especially after 10 years. Something about that sentence hurt more than anger would have. I could hear it. Michael could too. He looked toward me. This is because of her. Nathan's jaw tightened. I expected him to answer. Instead, he looked at me. Emily. What? Do you want to say anything? The question surprised me. Michael's actions had placed me in that hospital. Nathan could have spoken for me. He didn't. He gave the moment back. I stood carefully. My ribs still complained. Michael watched me approach. I trusted you, I said. His eyes dropped. That's the part one can't understand. I never meant for you to be there. That doesn't make it better. I know. No. You know the plan failed. That isn't the same thing as understanding what it cost. Silence followed. I returned to my chair. Nathan said nothing. He didn't need to. Minutes later, distant sirens became audible below. Michael looked toward the windows. Then at Nathan. You're really letting them take me? Nathan's expression remained steady. I'm letting your choices reach you. The elevator doors opened outside. Footsteps approached. For the first time since I had known him, Nathan Cross had every reason to answer betrayal with fear. Instead, he chose evidence. He chose restraint. He chose consequences that didn't require becoming the man Michael had predicted. As the conference room door opened, Nathan moved beside me. Not in front of me. Beside me. His hand hovered near mine without taking it. I looked down. Then I closed the distance myself. His fingers tightened gently around mine. That was the order that shocked everyone. But what stayed with me wasn't what Nathan commanded. It was what he finally refused to become. Do you still want this job? 3 weeks after Michael Grant was taken away, Nathan Cross finally asked me the question everyone else assumed had already been answered. I stood inside his office at 8 on a Monday morning. My shoulder had healed enough to stop complaining every time I reached for something. The bruises had faded. The cut near my temple was now a thin pink line I could hide beneath my hair. My desk outside his office looked exactly as I had left it. Same monitor. Same ridiculous collection of pins. Even the emergency flats were still underneath. Nathan hadn't replaced me. He hadn't packed anything away. He had simply waited. You could have asked before I made coffee, I said. I wanted the coffee first. There's the man I remember. His mouth almost curved. Outside the windows, Manhattan was waking beneath pale morning light. The investigation had exposed everything Michael had arranged. The borrowed credentials. The vehicle. The manipulated schedules. The financial trail connecting the driver to an account Michael controlled. Vincent Hale had kept his distance. The war Michael wanted never happened. Nathan had refused to give it life. Now there was only us. And a question. Do you? Nathan asked again. I looked at him. Are you asking professionally? No, that answer changed the room. Nathan stepped away from his desk. For once he didn't seem like the man everyone else saw. No audience. No men waiting outside for instructions. No carefully constructed reputation between us. Just Nathan. I spent 3 years assuming you'd be here tomorrow, he said. I stayed quiet. I knew your schedule. Your work. What you could fix for me. That sounds romantic. It gets worse. I smiled. He didn't. I didn't know you called your mother every Sunday. My smile disappeared. How do you know that? You told the nurse. I remembered. Hospital medication had apparently made me conversational. Nathan continued. I didn't know you hated going home to an empty apartment. My throat tightened. I said that too? No. Then how? I started paying attention. For simple words. They hurt in the gentlest possible way. Nathan looked toward my desk. When I found you outside the Beaumont, I realized I had built my life around your presence without ever asking what you wanted from yours. I couldn't make a joke this time. If you leave, he continued, you leave. Your position references compensation. None of that changes because of me. And if I stay? His eyes met mine. Then I stop assuming. Silence settled between us. And start asking. I walked toward him. Dangerous habit. I'm adapting. I stopped close enough to see the exhaustion he still carried beneath his eyes. You frightened me that night, he said. Nathan Cross admitting fear felt more intimate than any declaration could have. I know. I don't want to feel that again. You probably will. His brow furrowed. That wasn't comforting. Caring about people isn't comfortable. He absorbed that. Then nodded. I reached for the coffee on his desk and handed it to him. Drink. He took it. Is that a yes? To the coffee? Emily. I smiled. Yes. I'm staying. Something loosened in his expression. But I have conditions. Obviously. No assigning security without telling me. Reasonable. No canceling my plans because you dislike them. Less reasonable. Nathan. Fine. And lunch. He stared at me. You're negotiating lunch? You become unbearable when you forget to eat. I'm always unbearable. True. He laughed. Actually laughed. And standing there I finally understood what had changed. Nathan had once believed power meant controlling every outcome before it could hurt him. Michael believed the same thing. That was why Michael thought anger could control Nathan too. But strength turned out to be something quieter. It was restraint when revenge was available, truth when pride wanted certainty, respect when possession would have been easier. And love, whatever name we eventually gave what existed between us, was never proven by how tightly one person could hold another. It was proven by choice. Nathan Cross could command an entire room to move. But the day he learned to ask one person to stay was the day I stopped seeing only the man everyone feared. Power can force obedience. Fear can create silence. But neither can earn loyalty. That has to be given freely. And that morning I stayed because I wanted to.